and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. Sometimes I have to sit in this chair and deal with serious topics. With me is Michelle Dale, and you are from Indian River County Gold Star Mothers?
Yes.
Okay, so how is it worded? Is it worded Indian River County Gold Star Mothers or Gold Star Mothers of Indian River County?
Okay, we are the American Gold Star Mothers of Indian River County Incorporated.
Okay, now you're going to tell me and the audience what are Gold Star Mothers.
Okay.
This is why it gets really serious.
Right. Gold Star Mothers is an organization that no mom would ever want to join. It's an organization who is comprised of mothers who lost their children within service, either in war or while serving, or because of that service. So we have to suffer a loss. Now, you do not have to join American Gold Star Mothers or any of the chapters to be a Gold Star Mother. You automatically are once you suffer that loss.
And we were talking before this, I don't know that there's any greater loss than a mother losing a child. And as bad as it is for a dad, okay, and that's terrible, a connection between a mother and their child that is not found between a dad and a child, even though there's a great connection. I have a great connection with my daughter, but there's something about a mom and their child that is super strong and really not seen the other way around between the dad and the child. And you already know, I mean, dads get hurt as much when they lose a child, okay, but there's something about a mom. And I mean, I just lost my mom, and it was, even though it's the way it normally is, an older person passes away, because we're all going to die. So you decided to get involved in this organization. You're the president of this chapter.
I am the president and founder of this chapter. I lost my son in 2010 in Afghanistan. He was killed in the war. And when it first happened and I found out, like any mom, I was devastated. And I just assumed I could handle things on my own. And I proceeded for a while on my own. And I'm formally from Pennsylvania and moved to Vero Beach in 2008. And my ex-husband, my son's father, is in Pennsylvania. So what was happening, a lot of things were being held for my son in Pennsylvania, and I was being forgotten. And it really began to hurt me. It put me into a depression. And my present husband understood that. And what he told me to do was to contact some of the military whom we had met at our services on Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. And I did that, and I started to talk with them and became very good friends with them. And it started to bring me out of that depression just a little bit. And then one of them came to me and he asked me to come to the Veterans Council meetings in Indian River County. And my answer was, I'm not a veteran, why would I go? He said, you're a Gold Star Mother. And at that point I'm thinking like, okay, I know I am, but what does that mean?
Did you know you were a Gold Star Mother?
I did.
Okay.
But I didn't take it to the whole extent of what a Gold Star Mother is, because in the beginning you lost a loved one and you don't understand the whole complexity to it. So I went to these Veteran Council meetings and I couldn't believe everything that was being done for veterans and how friendly everybody was and devoted. And I continued to go to the meetings, and the same man came to me and he said, Michelle, I want you to come to Melbourne. The governor, who was Governor Scott at that point, was giving out awards. And I said, same answer, I'm not a veteran. He said, but Michelle, you're a Gold Star Mother. So I went with all the veterans and I got an award for my son.
Oh, how great.
Here in Florida. Okay, remember I was being forgotten in Pennsylvania. I got an award for my son. And that was like, wow, that's amazing. So I continued to go to the meetings, and one day the same gentleman got up and said, I would like to nominate Michelle Dale to be an honorary member of the council. I'm like, in shock. And everybody who was in attendance was like, yes. And after the meeting, another friend of mine within the council came to me. He was a president at that time. And he said, Michelle, now that you're a member of the council, I want you to start a chapter of American Gold Star Mothers in Indian River County. And I looked at him and said, oh my, I guess I better join. And so what I did was I Googled it. And I happened to find Treasure Coast chapter. There was a Treasure Coast chapter, and a woman whose name is, I hope I can use it, Joanne Maitland. Mm-hmm. She's our past national president right now. And I met with her, and I found out that it's quite an organization, but I had to have 5 moms in Indian River County to be able to start a chapter, which I did not. So I put that on the back burner, and I joined the Treasure Coast chapter for a while. And then I was part of Indian River County Port St. Lucie chapter. And then in Indian River County, one woman in particular who I've been trying to contact agreed to meet with me. And then I had another mom whom I knew through military prayer moms, and she said that she would join a chapter if we could start it. And we lost one military in Vero Beach, and I contacted that mom, and it was agreed upon that they would join. And then another mom from Palm Bay reached out to me and asked me if I would come to her service for her son, and I did. And then she eventually wanted to join, so we had 5. So I thought about it, and I thought, okay, we have 5, let's do an Indian River County chapter. So I basically then am the founder and the president of the group, and we received our charter, very easy to remember, February 19th, 2019. And since then, we've been together. In 2020, during the virus, I sat a lot, and so I incorporated us, and so therefore we are now the American Gold Star Mothers of Indian River County, Inc.
All right, how many members?
We only have 5.
Okay.
But we have associate members.
I hate to say it. I wish that you had none.
I know.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
We wish that you had none.
Yeah.
This is one of the things with the less is the better.
Yes.
But I think that support is so, so important.
Yes, it is. Well, our mission in Gold Star Mothers is to do everything that we can to help and support our veterans and their causes and help each other with our loss. And I've found by doing what we do, what I do in particular, I can relate to me, but all of us, if you go out and you help veterans with their causes, it's helping you. It's helping heal you, because there's such support with the veteran groups for Gold Star Mothers. It's outstanding. And I've become a member of a lot of different things, but one of the groups with whom I am a member, but I just love them like my son. It's the Next Generation Veterans of Indian River County. I became involved with them because I'm very upset about suicide within the military and the veterans. Because as a mom who lost a baby in the war, I can't wrap my head around mom having their babies come home after being in the war and then losing them by suicide. Our Next Generation Veterans were interested in the same thing, helping those who are struggling with PTSD, as another organization where I belong, which is Dogs for Life. We've all grouped together with Mental Health Association in Indian River County, and we help our veterans struggling with PTSD. Now, the next generation veterans, they're like my kids. They call me mom. And like they're very serious when they say it. They call me, Mom, are you okay? Is everything okay? And it's like, yeah, and I love them. And so they help, we help, Dogs for Life helps, Mental Health Association helps, and we all work on that part of it. Other than that, what we do in our chapter, we're active with the Veterans Council, and it's nothing for one of us or a couple of us to show up at all different kind of events. I'll give you just an example that maybe not too many people know what a flag retirement ceremony is.
It's interesting that you mentioned that. I'm just learning because I think I'm learning. I have a flag that I fly outside my home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And over time, it takes a beating.
Yes.
And now it has to be retired, I guess. Right? Would that be what it's called?
Right.
And I belong to the Elks, and they can do it.
Okay.
And there's different organizations that will do that for you,
Right.
that will retire a flag. And honestly, I didn't want to retire it because it's so important for me to show my support.
Right.
So I went out and got another flag, so now
Right.
I can retire this one.
Right.
But I didn't want there not to be a flag outside the front of my house. And you guys have to know that putting a flag in front of your house, okay, is not a political thing. It's just an American thing, in my opinion.
It is.
You know, I don't understand why it's become such a political issue. Okay, everyone in America should be proud to see a flag flying in front of someone's house.
Yes, you're right.
And that's sad that we don't have that anymore. But we're really here because you have gone through so much, and now it's a blessing that you're able to give back so much. And I get it. As a survivor of sexual abuse as a kid, I now help others.
Right.
And there's some sort of great feeling when you are able to help others.
Yes, it is. It's as I said, it's a healing. It's a healing within yourself if you can help somebody else who is struggling. And it's hard to get that in the beginning if you're a Gold Star mom because you had such a bad loss. You're hurting yourself. And there are many moms within the organization who are very fragile, and you have to be careful, what you say and how you express yourself as not to hurt them. But we all hope that they can come to a point where they realize that by helping others, they're helping themselves, and we're supporting each other at the same time while we're doing it.
I mean, that's such a blessing. Okay, we're getting to the top of time. How do people find you? Do you have a phone number?
How does somebody find me? Yes, I have a phone number. You can contact me at 570-885-2811.
And there's a website, right?
Pardon me?
You have a website?
My website is ircgoldstarmoms.org, and my email is my first four letters of my first name, MICHDALE, ircgoldstarmoms@gmail.com.
I have another question to ask. I'm guessing a 501c3?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so do you do fundraising to help the organization? I mean, how do you generate enough to keep yourself going? Because this is so important for you guys to want to find a way to give back and help. Because honestly, my opinion has always been you can't do what you do unless they did what they had to do.
Right. What we do is we're fortunate because sometimes we get donations, but our major fundraiser for the year is Walkathon for Military Veteran Suicide Awareness. And what we do with that is we make sure that we have money within to pay the bills and keep it going, and then donate to the rest of it to sessions which are being held in Vero Beach, which are helping our veterans struggling with PTSD.
You know, the first time I met you, even though you came on because of Phil. I met you, I believe, at a We Are Vero event.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm a kind of flying under the radar kind of guy, so I just like was quiet and just listening, and I'm thinking about how horrific it is to go through an experience like that, and how cathartic it is to be able to talk about it and then help others.
That's the thing. We have to get out there. And I just spoke a couple of weeks ago at a Gold Star Mother and Family event in Orange County, and I talked about that. If we don't put something with our name and wear our Gold Star pins, this is my Gold Star Mother pin. I received this when my son was killed. I cherish it. If we don't go out and project it, wear this pin, do something to show our name, talk about whom we are, nobody knows us. I stopped last week at Cumberland Farms for a cup of coffee for my husband. And I had on a different shirt, so I had a Gold Star Mother name tag, but I had on my pin. And when I went to check out, the gentleman at the counter said, "What's a Gold Star, Mom?" And I explained to him, and I could see him tearing up.
Mm-hmm.
First, he thanked me for my son's service, and then he proceeded to give me the money back, which I paid for the coffee. Now, I touched him and he touched me, but if I didn't wear my pin, which I wear every day, I wear that every day, if I don't go out and I don't project who I am and whom we are, nobody's going to know about it. So networking that you're talking about with Steve Glazer, it took me a lot to start that last year. I was a little nervous when I first started talking, but I thought, nobody's going to know about us and what we do, especially that fundraiser, which is extremely important to us, unless I go out there and I talk about it. And as the president of the organization, that's part of my job, let people know who we are.
You know, when I came out with being molested as a kid, now had this great ability, I'd be able to help others, but nobody was really asking me. So like your pin, I have my tattoo.
Right.
And people ask me, and the first thing they say is, "Oh, you survived breast cancer." No, that I'm colorblind. I know it's not pink. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's those things that keep us close to our losses.
Right.
You know, this arrow, I don't wear jewelry. This arrow I just got because it has some of my mom's ashes in it.
Yeah.
Okay, and I never take it off, and I don't wear jewelry. Okay, so except for my wedding ring, because I'll get killed if I take it off. Okay, I don't take this off, and that's hard for me, but it's so important. And the important thing is that you have that pin.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm just going to guess that every time you wear that pin every day, it keeps you attached to the experience and your goals ahead.
Yes, it does.
Okay, what's the phone number one more time?
570-885-2811.
And the website?
ircgoldstarmoms.org.
She gave it out, and then I kind of got carried away a little bit. But with that, I want to thank you for coming on. I want to thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
And there's a blessing in, I know it's going to sound weird, in the fact of all your son did for so many people. Everybody, check them out, do the walk, and we'll be right back.